Are you the prosecutor?
Yes.
Hi, I'm
Hi.
Joel Vaught.
Hi.
Hi, I just have a quick question. Did you guys get my
Yes.
papers that I filed?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so you did get the motions, or the
We'll
demurrer.
take them up with the judge.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and did you guys get the, bring your evidence of jurisdiction? Did you bring that with you
We'll
today?
take everything up with the judge,
All right.
okay?
Thank you. Good morning.
Okay, so we have the complaint that the DA's office has filed today. Okay. I understand that there is a demurrer to the complaint, and it's not too short, let's see. I think this is request for orders, but there are at least 6 or 5 pages here. I imagine this, but you haven't seen this at all.
Your Honor, I did get a copy
Oh.
yesterday. I believe he did serve it on our office. I tried to review it. I was a little confused as to what he's asking. But I can just say that well, if the court looks at the ADC form, did the court want me to recite the facts?
Whatever you want to present to.
The people believe, Your Honor, if this case went to trial, California CHP Officer Withrow would testify that he was on routine patrol in the county of Napa at or near the intersection of State Route 121 and 128 when he saw this defendant driving a vehicle that was towing a trailer that had a folded up license plate that couldn't be read. As the officer made further observations, the defendant was unable to come to a complete stop. He was on a downhill and his truck was so overloaded that the brakes wouldn't hold the vehicle. There were a number of other safety issues, so the officer pulled over the defendant and he was not able to produce any proof of insurance. He was not able to produce a driver's license, and he only rolled his window down about an inch or two. He demanded to speak with the officer's supervisor, and he refused to comply with the officer's lawful order to move his vehicle to a flat space where the officer could safely conduct his investigation. So we believe that the discovery, which of course the defendant does not have, would support the charges. The officer found approximately half a pound of marijuana in the car. There was no, it's not a car, it's a vehicle. There was no medical marijuana recommendation or anything to that effect. Let's see, what else? So I do believe that if the defendant has a chance to read the discovery, that he will see that there was jurisdiction in the county of Napa and that they do state a cause of action. Let me make sure I've got. Yes, he could not stop at the stop sign. Right, I think I got everything else in there.
Oh,
So
boy.
those are the facts alleged. And given the defendant's claim of no cause of action, that there's no jurisdiction, I believe that the facts are contrary to that. There is a corpus. There's a body camera, there's a dash camera that I've ordered. We have Officer Withrow's testimony. There were several other officers there. A supervisor did show up at the scene. The sheriff's department did show up at the scene. So those are the facts that the people believe would come out if this case went to trial.
All right, any comments, sir?
Are you talking to me? My intention today is just to get this over with as quick as possible. My intention is to actually plead guilty. I have a plea form. I just need to get a few points addressed. I need to get a few clarifications addressed here so I can make an informed plea.
Okay, well, let me go over the charges with you. Let's start there. This complaint was filed today. It does allege that on June 21st of this year, in count 1, you disobeyed an officer, which is a misdemeanor. Count 2 alleges that you resisted, obstructed, delayed a peace officer or you on that same day. Count 3, possession of marijuana more than 28.5 grams, that's a misdemeanor. The following are infractions. Count 4, unsafe condition of a vehicle. Count 5, failure to stop at an intersection stop sign. Count 6, failure to possess a driver's license. Count 7, driving with no proof of insurance. For the infractions, you could face fines up to $1,000. For the misdemeanor in count 1, I think that's a 6-month maximum. We don't do that one often.
Yes, I can,
Count 2 is definitely a 1-year county jail maximum. Count 3, 6-month county jail maximum. I just make up the 2,800. Most misdemeanors are 6 months. There are some that are.
Is it okay to sit down here? If I can bring
As
the
long
mic.
as you're, yes, you can sit there, just pull the microphone close, just in case you make statements so that everything is recorded.
This microphone here?
No, the one over there.
Yeah, I need to sit. I traveled a very, very long distance to get here. And just let me say that I am under threat and duress
just let the
here.
judge
Hold on a
finish.
second, sir. I'm just gonna let you know the maximum punishment for so that you're clear. All right, sir, and so what you said today is very confusing from what you're alleging in your demur and then statement that you began to say. I would indicate that the defendant has been now arraigned on the charges. He filed a demur. This will be filed today. And do you have any more statements about the demur?
I'm curious, did the clerk and the prosecutor also get the request for discovery and Brady request and the request for judicial notice?
Okay, so let's do one thing at a time. Those are separate issues from the demur. Is there anything more you'd like to say about your demur?
There's not anything I want to say. I said my intention is to plead guilty here today. I just need to have a few clarifications. Am I presumed innocent of the accusations here today?
You still say that again?
Am I presumed innocent of the actual accusations here today?
Yes.
Yes, I am.
Presumed innocent. But we need to deal with the demur. If you do not have any additional comments, I'm ready to rule on that.
The only comment I have is that, the court has no jurisdiction, and I would like this whole thing to be dropped and dismissed. I'm here today to just get this thrown out. I'm looking for jurisdiction, and do I have the right to be informed of the cause and nature of the accusations and proceedings today?
Yes, I just went over the complaint with you. So.
Yes, I do.
The demur, and of course, the court is overruling it. We'll go ahead and get it filed, but I am overruling that.
Objection on what grounds are you overruling?
There's no basis,
There's
based
no-
on what you've written here. A lot of it has nothing to do with the demur at all, but the parts that do,
Uh-huh.
you find that the complaint does. And I'm looking at the petition, 1004, those are grounds for demur, and I'm indicating here that this complaint does comply with the provisions of section 950. drafted of the criminal code that the facts stated constitute a public offense. There are a number of charges that are listed here, I believe it was 7 that I read to you. And that is the reason why we will move. In terms of jurisdiction, there's an allegation here that these crimes were committed in the county of Napa. So at this time, sir, do you wish to plead guilty, no contest, not guilty? What is your request? Do you want to enter a plea?
Yeah, I would like to get this over with today. My intention, like I said, is to plead guilty if I can get informed about what's going on here. You know.
Does the court have the people's offer?
Let's see if that was attached. Yes. All right, sir. You should also have this. The offer is attached to your complaint. Basically, you would be pleading to count 1 and 4. Everything else would be dismissed. It would be placed on 2 years of summary probation, meaning you do not have a probation officer. You report probation.
This is the paper you're talking about.
And Ms. Plea, if you can direct me to the offer.
It would be count 1, the disobeying the officer, and count 4, that's an infraction, unsafe vehicle.
Okay. Well, my question here is,
And then it would be summary probation, and I would not ask for any additional jail. You already got arrested, right?
I'm not here to talk about this. I'm just trying to figure out how this is evidence of jurisdiction over me. How is this the prosecutor's evidence of jurisdiction? You know, I want to go back to the few clarifications I have. Do I have the right to a fair and meaningful hearing here today?
Not
No, we're not
today.
having a hearing today. You do have a right to a jury trial. Yes.
I don't want to take this to trial. I just want to get it taken care of today.
Sir, if you want to take care of it today, if you want to plead no contest, that you're not contesting, that we have enough evidence to convict you of disobeying an officer and driving a vehicle that is not safe, we can take care of things today. We'd put you on summary probation, and you'd be directed to not commit any new legal offenses.
Well, I need facts here and actual physical evidence and proof. You know, is there?
Sir, what I'm going to do is pass your matter because I'm aware that we have at least 2 other cases that may be a little quicker, and then we can return to your case. So please have a seat in the audience, and maybe you can take a moment to look through the offer again and decide if you want to accept that. Okay?
I'm here to finish this today.
People versus
Okay.
Jordan Walt, please.
We're going to call the next case. Give you a moment to collect your thoughts. All right, please come forward again, Mr. Walker. Do you want to talk to me about this case?
So back to what? Well, you know, I want to be informed so I can shop for the right kind of lawyer.
You need a criminal lawyer.
Yeah,
A criminal case.
yeah, and I want to, you know, get the facts here straight so I know what kind of lawyer I'm looking for. And that goes back to, you know, you said that I'm innocent of all the accusations here today. You already, you know, said yes to that, and I'm here. I'm ready to just get it done with today.
Okay, so
I have the intention of pleading.
But then you keep arguing about whether or not there's jurisdiction, you're presumed innocent, so you're sending mixed messages with your words. Every defendant is presumed innocent, but the people have a right to proceed with whatever complaint they have filed, and it's up to them if they want to go forward to prove this case beyond a reasonable doubt. So you may start off as being presumed innocent, but it really comes down to, at the trial, what is proven, what the jury decides, unless you take an offer short of trial.
From the prosecutor.
They are the charging agency. So
Okay.
you filed the complaint, you have it in hand, You have a right to have an attorney and you have a jury trial and have 12 people decide whether or not they have proven the case against you. Okay? Now, I just need to know, do you want to talk to an attorney? And can you afford to hire your own attorney if you want to talk to them?
I want to reserve the right to have an attorney, but at this moment, before I even go any further, I need to know if, do I have a right to a fair, meaningful hearing today?
The only hearing that's on today is to arraign you on the complaint. You have to go to the next step. I have 3 minutes, and I have to let all.
Okay. Is that a yes or no question? I do have a right to a fair and meaningful hearing today.
You have a right to a jury trial.
Well,
You want to come to the public defender's office.
objection. What is, point of clarification, what is a jury trial? Isn't that the same as a hearing?
No, no, it's not. A jury trial is where 12 people from the community come in and decide your case versus a hearing where there would be a judicial officer who decides what the result will be.
Oh, okay. From my understanding, you're the one who decides if I'm innocent, right?
Only if you request a court trial.
All right. Well,
If it's a court trial, then yes, it would be a judicial officer who makes the decision versus a jury trial.
Well, just so I can make an informed plea, like I said, I have the intentions of just pleading guilty today and getting it over with. I don't have the time to keep coming back and forth or wasting your time. I have a question. Does the prosecutor have the burden of the proof for the proceedings today? They do have the burden of proof?
Today is not your court trial or your jury trial. But yes, they have that burden.
Okay. Has the prosecutor submitted any evidence establishing jurisdiction over me today?
Stop there. Are you available at 1:30? So we have to see when there will be deputies here.
Whatever please the court. I will make myself available.
Okay, we can have one at 1:30. Okay, we have to continue this matter until 1:30 today. It is 11:57. I cannot hold court staff into their lunch hour. And it sounds like this is not going to.
Objection. I'm ready to just. I have the intentions of pleading guilty right now. I was just asking if the prosecutor had any submitted evidence of jurisdiction today.
Did the court want me to bring a pro per discovery packet?
Yes.
Okay.
So Ms. Plea is going to bring some information for you to review this afternoon, and then you can make an informed.
I'm not here to review any more information. I just need to know if they have jurisdiction. We could get this all over with right now.
We have jurisdiction.
I have to go to
It
work.
happened in the county of Napa.
Do you have physical evidence of that? That you have jurisdiction?
Not today.
Not today. Well, I require dismissal of this case because the prosecutor failed to bring any evidence today.
Yeah, we'll resume at 1:30.
Objection. She just said she has no evidence, so I'd like to go home.
If you do not return at 1:30, I will have to issue a bench warrant.
Is that a threat? Objection.
No, I'm just letting you know what will happen if you do not return to court. Your order.
I feel this is not fair. You're threatening me with violence.
No, I don't threaten people. That's not appropriate. But I just want you to.
That's just how I feel.
Okay.
All right, sir, we'll see you at 1:30. We'll close in the courtroom.
All right, under duress. I guess I'll just wait around. 1:30.
1:30, sir. 1:30. Court will be open. Same courtroom.
All right. What do I?
Is this yours?
No, it's. What do I have to do to get evidence? Do I ask her? Or do I deal with you? I'm just trying to figure out how the court works here. That's my understanding that she has to.
None of us can provide legal advice, sir. Okay.
I'm just trying to get the right things to make the right plea because I need to get this over with. And
Well, that's what attorneys.
I mean, you don't feel that was weird how she just walked out without evidence? And I mean,
No, she's on her lunch break as well.
if I was in a Supreme Court or something.
This is not a hearing. You're mistaken. This is a
Yeah.
hearing. Anyways, see you at
This is
1:30.
just where you decide whether you want.
You know where I'm coming from, though, right? I'm not. I just asked her for jurisdiction of evidence. She said no, she doesn't have it. So I mean, in common sense, that would be dropped. And that's physical evidence. That's all I wanted. Oh, well, if she has physical evidence of jurisdiction, then we'll figure it out today. Cool. All right. Yeah. 12 o'clock. I don't think I need any help. What I want to be done with my case is just to be fair. I'm pretty sure that you're the judge, so you're kind of like the referee, right, between me and the prosecutor. And the prosecutor has failed to, from what I see, provide any evidence at all proving jurisdiction. So, I require dismissal of this case because the prosecutor failed, and they're welcome to refile any of the alleged charges once they have met their burdens, including submitting evidence that satisfies the element of jurisdiction. If I was doing the same thing as them, I would be put in jail if I just said, hey, we have jurisdiction just because we say so. Because I looked through that paper they just gave me, I couldn't find any proof of jurisdiction. There was no evidence submitted.
Okay, sir, so this is why I was talking about you speaking with an attorney, because obviously you don't understand everything that's going on. And the day that you come to court for arraignment doesn't mean we're gonna have your jury trial that day, or that we're gonna run any motion that you think needs to be run. Just even steps, you've been arraigned on your charges, you dealt with your return, I overruled that. So the next step is to put your matter on for settlement. And so that means we need to set another court date. I started off by telling you I will appoint a public defender so you can consult with an attorney. And if there are any motions that need to be filed in your case, your attorney can assist you with that. But everything doesn't get resolved on the first day that you come to court.
Well, from my understanding, you can raise a question asking a jurisdiction, if there was evidence submitted the first day I'm here. I'm just going to see, hey, what's your stance?
So in this way, it's going to review all allegations. And if you want to exercise your right to have a jury trial, you can. If there are motions that you want to file, you can do that. But that happens at a later date. It doesn't happen on the same day as your arraignment.
Objection. Are you hiding something from me? Are you being...
You cannot object to me, sir.
Right.
No one's hiding anything from you. I'm just trying to be very patient here to explain the process. But I really think you need an attorney because it doesn't appear that you understand. So I'm going to appoint a public defender.
Objection. I don't want a public
Well, then
defender.
you don't have to use their services.
At the moment, I don't know, because my...
There are two public defender representatives here, and I wonder if anyone can, please.
Objection. This man does not represent me. I never asked for him to represent me. Like I said before in the very beginning, my intention is to plead guilty here to get this all dropped because I cannot make it here. I live too far away. I don't have the means of getting here. I'm ready. I'm ready to just say, hey, if she has the proof of jurisdiction, if she submitted the evidence, I'm ready to do whatever you.
Mr. Wynn is here. He's not representing you.
Don't bite.
Explain something.
Explain to me that does the prosecutor have the burden of proof to in the proceedings today?
If you want to step outside and talk?
I don't need to step outside. I'm just trying to see if the prosecutor has the burden of proof. From my understanding, that today, if they had the case move on, they need to have jurisdiction over me, and they haven't submitted any jurisdiction.
The people can only at this juncture.
Not sure if that requires it.
Objections. You're saying this is physical evidence. This is evidence you're submitting. That would be fair.
I mean, I can't do it. It's up to the court. I just wondering.
Is there a reason we don't want to at least talk to someone who isn't a prosecutor? On the case all of the time. And we can just
If the prosecutor can prove jurisdiction, for sure, I need to have counsel. If not, I feel that's grounds for it to be dismissed immediately.
I'm not saying that he's going to be your attorney, but he might be able to
Okay, and how do I get the record? How do I get the voice record here? Because if I have to come back here, I need to bring that up. That she said, the prosecutor, she said in her own words, she has not submitted any evidence of jurisdiction today, and she can't. And it was the same thing this morning when I was waiting. They still didn't even have a case number.
Sir, so you don't want to just step out for a moment and speak to someone who has some legal background?
Do you want me to?
I think it would be nice.
If you really want me to, I don't want to waste any more of your time. Like I said, I had the intentions of pleading guilty just to drop this because I can't afford the gas to come down here. Napa County, I'm way up in Eugene. It took me 2 days just to get out here.
So if you can just step out with Mr. Wayne, just break.
With him? All right.
Okay, my name's Sam. I'm not trying to hurt you or anything.
No,
just work for the
I know
county.
you guys all work together.
And I
I mean,
represent,
you guys get paid all by the same people, right?
Sure.
You're a public defender?
Absolutely, we get
With-
paid by the same people, but my role.
So
is
there's a
for the-
point of interest here that's
Okay.
not fair.
So do you want an attorney to help you or not?
Yeah, if they can prove physical evidence, if they can actually submit evidence that they have jurisdiction, then yes.
What's the case about? Because I don't know anything.
I got pulled over for having a bent license plate on my truck. And then I refused to
Is that a
answer any
California
questions. It doesn't matter, I mean, I'm not here to answer questions, I'm here to ask for jurisdiction.
Well, I can't give you advice without information. That's what
I don't really think it's about advice, I think that they're not being fair. I asked her to prove jurisdiction, the judge looked at the prosecutor, and the prosecutor said, I don't have any jurisdiction, I have no evidence I can submit today. Boom, why are we still here?
Well, this is not,
This is a cannabis charge and a bent license plate and not providing insurance or license.
okay.
Which
so
I do
What
have.
did you get arrested for? The license plate?
Because I didn't answer any questions. I rolled my window down this much and they have this same thing. I'm like, who are you? I don't know if you're a thug with some random badge on you trying to rob me. I've heard of people
Okay.
getting raided
Then after
in
they
the
put you
hood.
over for that, what happened after that?
They threatened my life.
They searched
They
you.
had guns, they had them pulled, they had the tasers out, they're ready to crack my window open if I didn't roll it down. So I said, under duress, under threat, duress, and coercion, or whatever,
Okay,
I said,
what's your
okay.
name?
My name's Joel.
Joel, okay, let me try to explain the process.
Please explain, how do they,
It's a process, okay? It's
Okay.
due process, you have a right to due process.
sure,
But it's not a quick process.
okay.
Just let you know that.
But I'm familiar that you can raise the
Yeah.
question of
It's not-
jurisdiction
but
immediately.
The process is not like, not letting their cases go away, like you're trying to do.
Of course. Well, they need to submit something to me. You need to go ask them while I'm out of the room, hey, you guys need to drop this and give them something. Because it's just gonna go on for years. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I'm gonna keep
Absolutely.
coming back and asking for jurisdiction
Sure,
until they
sure.
legally arrest
But you
me.
But you want to make sure that you follow the correct procedures, right?
They are not even,
But you have to.
They don't even have
Whether or not they
jurisdiction.
do or not.
who says so? Just because they threaten my life?
Okay.
They have
Well,
jurisdiction? That's what I'm trying to figure out. They have no jurisdiction. This is common sense. Hey, if someone says, hey, you need to get here,
okay.
we have jurisdiction
Where
over
did
you.
this
Wait a
happen?
minute,
Where
you have
did that
jurisdiction over? I mean, if I was in the army and I signed off my jurisdiction to them, okay, they have a piece of paper they can provide.
happen? Okay.
So I need
Where did this
to
happen?
really break that down. Right here and now.
All right. Well, I don't think that,
Do I have to bring that up? The army has jurisdiction over their people because they sign a paperwork in my favor.
okay. Well, it sounds to me as though you don't want my help.
Well, you're not answering my question. Have they submitted jurisdiction and where is it and
That's
why?
not a question that I can answer.
Okay.
Because that's not the process that they follow.
Okay, but you do understand where I'm coming from, right?
They say that this happened in Napa County, so they have territorial jurisdiction over their.
Just
county.
because geographically they say that doesn't mean that they have jurisdiction over me. There's
They
no
have
proof of that.
territorial jurisdiction.
There's no, they
Okay.
just say they do.
Okay.
Where's the proof of their jurisdiction is what I'm asking. And they seem confused about that.
Okay.
Maybe because no one
Do you
ever,
want to see it in the statute? Would that help?
there's no proof. Just because it
Well,
says,
the
oh,
allegation-
I'm writing this, and that means I have jurisdiction over you. I never said yes. I never signed anything. I'm not in any contract with these guys.
Okay.
I did nothing wrong. I had some flower gums, some cannabis flowers. I have a cannabis card. But I'm not mentioning that to them because I'm not here to defend myself. I'm here to ask for their jurisdiction. It's like going to a mafia and they're like, hey, you have to be here on Monday. Okay, they're going to kill my ass if I don't show up on Monday. Then you get there and say, hey, what the hell? Who are you guys? How do you have jurisdiction over me?
Okay.
Really? I mean, can you help me at all by telling them, hey guys, you guys are right? That's the right thing for you to do.
The first thing you need to decide for yourself is whether or not you want an attorney. The good thing about having an attorney is that they understand the process and they can help you through. And because it's a misdemeanor, you don't have to be in court for your attorney to go and help you out. So if you need to go back to Eugene, as
I'm
long
aware
as
of that.
you're in contact with your attorney, then your attorney can help you sort things out, okay?
I mean, if I
It
was
sounds
to even
like if
hire
I-
somebody, I couldn't hire someone that's getting paid by the same people.
Okay,
Because
so-
right there's a conflict of
Okay,
interest.
and I understand that. I mean, I do work, I do have a job and I do get paid.
You need a good rep with her, because if you're
Not
like,
necessarily.
if you're like, hey judge, he's right, and automatically she's gonna go, oh, I know that, it's
Okay.
obvious, there's no
Yeah,
jurisdiction.
and you actually have to have a lawyer that you can trust.
I mean, I just popped up on this, I didn't even figure it out, I didn't create the law, I just read the law, and I'm like, wow, these people cannot prove, they have not submitted any evidence of jurisdiction. That's what I keep going back to, and I'm asking her if I can have a fair and meaningful hearing today, and it's not fair.
Okay.
It's all going on the record. She even, the prosecutor herself, said,
Okay.
I don't have
Well,
any evidence, I haven't submitted it, I can't.
you just
Jurisdiction.
probably tell the judge that you don't want me to represent you, right? And that's that.
At the moment,
Okay.
I feel I'm right. Nothing wrong.
you at any point in time, actually, you testified that he told you that in taking the house on the side. Did he tell you when that happened?
Yeah.
You have a copy with you?
Yes, sir.
Please, do so.
So you grabbed the house from the front door.
Okay. So did you at any point in time ask what his son was? Did you at some point in time learn?
Yeah, but I heard the said
Would help transfer. And are you familiar with that? Did you ever go to the did you ever, I think you said that you sang. By that, you were you sang.
Yeah.
Did you ever ask if you submit to a chemical test? No. Alright, let's take that. Do you have any special idea about how long controlled substances remain in a person's blood or urine? Do you have any training about that?
I have training on how long drugs last in the system.
Correct.
No.
Are you aware that if someone has used methamphetamine recently, it would be in their blood or
Yes.
urine?
But I don't know the exact specifics of how much they use, how long they use, the time frame or any of that stuff.
Oh. And did you ever ask them any of those questions?
I asked them the last time we used. That's it.
And did you ever request that, how big was the bag you had?
It was probably, if I remember correctly, a small baggie, 1.5,
Basically saying, you know,
possibly.
that's fine. When you initially found the black pouch in its stock, he told you that there was going to be a vape in it, correct?
Yeah.
And there was a vape in it.
Yes, it was.
And did you ever, never mind, strike that half. Did you ever, ask Officer Oro to make a supplemental report in connection? And that part of Jefferson, would you agree with me that there's curbs on that part of Jefferson Street?
Yes.
Okay. And he was, the bike that you observed was in the street, right?
Across the southbound lane to going westbound Pine Street.
And so, I'm sorry, and then on Pine Street, are there curbs on that?
Yes, there is.
Would you agree that a bike would have to lean into the gap in the curb, with holes in the curb?
Yes.
Thank you, Annette.
Here, Your Honor. Officer Skillings, you mentioned you've been a patrol officer for over a year. Have you ever seen someone on a bicycle at night with a bike on?
Yes, I have.
How do you know there's a bicycle?
I have actually behind the carrier of the bike that was on. When I happened to come over, the bike that and realized they had a bike light and let it go. It's happened a handful of times.
And in this case, what direction did you first, when you first
first dog is a head of cigarette.
Here's becoming, Jefferson.
And with that, for
Forward.
still for the much of the time.
I know I didn't start it. I submit.
All right, just for the record, I would like to make a motion to pass the board to people applying on position I have listened to the testimony here. I understand that the encounter of the defendant legal, and he admitted to having marijuana on his person. Where it was, but also indicated he did not have his. Based on that information and then eventually concerning so I will deny the motion to suppress in this matter and set the dates for the.
Yes, at this point in time, CR 117 has we prepared in a plea of not guilty and set the date for trial.
Is time waived or not?
It is not.
Time is not waived, and the 45th day would be September 30th. I'd be looking to set this September 19th. September 19th.
That's fine.
It works with the officer, Your Honor, I'm just gonna make sure there's the one DOJ employee who is now in the community. I just wanna make sure that we don't get anything on that.
Who's the, who is the
Yeah.
account?
So I can order that the sample be tested, they usually still at DOJ. We set it for September 19th with the date they can test it on the date, but I just wanted to know.
2 days. CR 179718 is set for a 2-day jury trial. That would be on Monday, September 19th, 8:30 a.m. in Department E. Sir, you're ordered present then, as well as the Wednesday before, which is September 14th at 1:30 p.m. down at the hall. In terms of pursuing an hour or the other matter, what would you like to do?
It sounds as though Mr. Hendricks is, finally found out the fine that's holding his license. He expects to have it shortly. I would ask to go out Wednesday in the department here setting.
What date would you request for that?
Whatever 3 weeks on a Wednesday is. I only have a 2017 calendar in front of me.
It looks like 3 weeks is September 7th.
Is that a Wednesday? That's fine. Sorry, I was looking at the Wednesday.
You could also put it on the recognition. Easier when you have one date.
Let's do that.
Okay, so this matter will go over to Wednesday, September 14th at 1:30 in Department A. That would just be clear set, which is 16838.
Segura?
Chronic the open people.
Say when, Mrs. Segura?
So,
All right, Mr. Winfrey is able to contact your client?
I was able to contact Mrs. Segura, Your Honor, she's not available for trial next week. Scheduled for that.
All right, well, it appears based on this motion, you are making an issue out of people on vacation, but there is apparently Sergeant Oasis who is in his long training who will set the case except for trial.
That's correct, Your Honor, and it says it so, it says he is available September 7th, but it appears as though he's available September 6th. Usually that's not, I'm going to testify that under that.
Okay, so the trial right now is set for August 29th, so I'm granting the motion to continue, we will vacate the August 29th date as well as the 24th date. The issue that you're talking about is now when you set it. I understand that you want to go forward on the 6th, but now I see that, based on what's written in the motion, that there are witnesses that are available for days and not the other. And so I would not want to set this on the 6th.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, the problem with that is things don't always work out the way you would like, and you may say today this person is right here this day and that day. You don't know how long it's gonna take you to pick a jury, so since we don't have those guarantees, I don't think it's wise at all to start the trial on September 6th. I'm not gonna set it on that date.
Certainly.
We need to look at another date.
Okay, well, the last day, I believe, is,
the last day is September 12th, Your Honor, so if we cannot do it October, August 29th, we will do a rest of that. We will do that by time. Your Honor, I would like to point on the record what was being about the next week. The defense counsel just stated that he ordered new evidence and that he hasn't gotten it yet. The people are concerned that this trial is set with a 30-day limit, and yet there's some outstanding piece of evidence the defense theoretically would be getting sometime in the next week or two. I don't know when it will be presented to the people, and give the people given a fair shot to examine it. So that is a concern with this speedy trial issue, if there's going to be some sort of surprising evidence that people have not yet obtained.
well, actually, what it is the recording of the 1538.
Okay, so I just want to be clear. Your goal is to have the trial within the month of the next session. If not, then I'm going to set it out of the trial set. From the 9th. And there are 2 days of things issued that next week. So I just need on the record.
Not available next week.
Okay, and so that is the reason why we're going to be setting this outside of the September 12th date.
Record, there's an objection, as to the cause based on the set up.
Then I'm gonna set on the 22nd. Because I don't wanna invite that sort of issue when witnesses are available, you're telling me that your client wants this trial within time. Everyone is available apparently on the 22nd. And have it in, and your client is to have the trial within time. So that's what I'll do today, and you need to know on that. And you can follow the commission to put on the order.
So,
Or you can agree, as you know, there are other
I just want to make sure the record's clear. You're going to make a ruling that That was their request. That was like August 9th, 29th was their request. That was their request, not mine. And now they're saying that we need to push it back, move it forward. Move it forward. He has been ordered to come tomorrow. Not available. He's working. He's got the case. Then we prepared the file for the 29th, which I think you guys do. And then I'm telling the court that I wouldn't be available to provide the counsel next week. So we're balancing his right to the file against his, along with his right to effective assistance of counsel. And on the other side, and I'm vacation. I'm not aware of any other court case that effective assistance of constitutional or technical right. That's the court ruling, that I respect the ruling, but I just want to reserve the issue for you.
Okay, so the motion to continue was based on the trial that was on. I'm granting the motion to continue based on the fact that there is an officer who is in economic training and is not available that week. So that motion has been decided by the court and that is done. Now what we're doing is trying to find a date when everyone can be available. You keep pressing the issue that your client wants to have that trial on or before such and such. And so I'm trying to accommodate that request, and we have witnesses who are going to be here to testify. There are too many issues with the executive because witnesses are available one day and not the other day, and there's no guarantee that if you start putting the jury trial on scheduling conflicts. So if you really want another day when everyone can be available.
That way,
It's essentially having your cake and eating it too. Figure out where it's going on Tuesday, and if you want to do it, that's fine.
but I'm not agreeing to that.
And that's why I'm saying that inviting, this objection that you're contemplating bringing before the court. You have a right to object. I'm gonna set the trial for next week. August 22nd, 8:30 department. Please tell your client to make the report tomorrow. And file whatever motion you need to file. But you're telling your client you want to file everything. It doesn't make sense to set it at some date later in September, October, and then invite objections and motions to dismiss because the court set it after a certain date and have a week that the officers are available, and it would be within time. So what I'm trying to do here is accommodate witnesses, but also
What about the prejudice?
well, perhaps you should talk to me about the fact that you can't do anything with the conference that you have.
Joel Bott?
Okay, so do you want an attorney?
After talking with the lawyer out there, I've concluded this needs to be dismissed because of prosecutorial misconduct. I asked him, and he he basically looked at me the same way the prosecutor did when I asked if they submitted any jurisdiction, any evidence of jurisdiction at all, and I don't think he can help me.
Right.
Yeah, I asked him, and he just looked at me like that. So, like I said, the prosecutor didn't meet the burden of proof, and I don't see how this can keep going.
Okay, so you don't want the public defender's office.
Like I said, right after I talked to him, I've concluded all needs to be dismissed because of the prosecutorial misconduct.
Going back to setting another court date, you can come back as early as, September 13th.
Objection, I can't make it back here. That's why I'm here with the intention to plead guilty today. I have the intention to plead guilty today because I can't make it back here. So I don't have the means to get back here. So I have to go to work. I know you guys want to move on. So if the prosecutor hasn't, met the burden of proof, I don't see what we're doing here.
All right, so your next court date, I'll give you a little longer, September 20th, so you can make arrangements to come back to court.
Objection, Your Honor.
9:30 a.m. this department for your settlement conference.
I don't agree to that. I
If you
can't be there.
decide to hire an attorney, let the person know to be here. If not, you certainly have a right to do it yourself. But I'm
So
not
are you making a
dismissing
plea
anything.
for me?
No, I haven't entered any pleas for you, and you haven't entered any pleas either.
So I have to come back here and just,
9:30 this department. We're gonna have some paperwork, and then you'll need to take that downstairs.
so I have to come back and we're doing this all over again.
No, we'll be here for settlement, and if you don't want to resolve it, we can set it for a trial.
Objection, I don't agree to that. If you're going to enter that for me, I involuntarily, it's under threat, duress, and coercion. I don't plead anything. I mean, if you want to do this right now, I said I have the intention of pleading guilty right now. I have the intention of doing that if she can just
It's not a policy hearing.
prove jurisdiction.
We've already gone over this.
All right, well, I don't agree with any of that, so. And how do I request the recording so I can get all that was said today? Do I talk to the clerk for that? All right. And is there a way I could request a different judge that might hear what I'm saying next time? Is there a motion I can file for that?
There is.
Okay. And if this is fair and, you're going to let me, like you said, know the nature of this and you can tell me, what can I do to let you off this and maybe someone else who can understand what I'm saying, I can file a motion for another judge.
You can certainly do that, sir.
Okay. So I file that with you or the clerk?
You go down.
Okay. All right. So am I free to go? Is there any way I can do a telephonic hearing? Because I can't make it back here.
Your case is done. I'll have the paper in just a second.
Thank you. All right, can I stand outside? Absolutely. Thank you. You have no proof of jurisdiction. They can't give it to me, so. This is America. Crime family. There you have it.
This is your paperwork that has been written on it. If you want to file any other motions or get a different judge, you can ask about that with the clerk downstairs. But it's post-court services. It's on the first floor of this building. When you get back to that metal detector you came through, it'll be that'll be on your left. Post-court services will be on your right.
And for clarification, what were they wanting me to do? To plead to a misdemeanor?
I don't remember all that. It was so long ago.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out why.
Whatever that was on your offer sheet
Yeah.
and that Ms. Quate told you about,
Mm-hmm.
that was the offer. So I don't know. I don't remember what it was because it's been a long time since you guys were.
Yeah, this is nuts. This
Talking
is
about that.
kangaroo court. They're working under the color of law. They can't even prove the jurisdiction.
Yeah, all right. So you can ask for the judge down there. We have to file paperwork and they should tell you how to.
Good luck in there, man.
Yeah.
Wow. Corrupt. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Jojogoflow. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Skype. All at Jojogoflow. Talk to you guys later. Ciao.